Hey, what's up guys, Rezilient here, and welcome to my end of ORAS OU report cards. Now this is what I've been working on for a very long time. It takes a lot to do all the layouts and everything. So I'm going to split this into 6 videos. There are 60 total Pokemon in OU, currently at least, and I'm going to split them into 6 videos, and I'm going to do 10 Pokemon each time. I'm very excited to bring you guys this video. It took me a while to make, like I said. I'm going to be going through the OU tier, all the way from Amoonguss all the way down to Mega-Tyranitar. It's in the OU by technicality. So that means I will be doing the borderline Pokemon as well. I'm really excited. So let me explain exactly what I'm going to do with these report cards. I'm going to show you Pokemon, I'm going to show its typing, I'm going to show its base stats that it gets, I'm going to also give you a quick pro and con of each OU Pokemon, and I will give you the final grade of what I think it is. So these Pokemon are being graded, I wouldn't say harshly, I would say fairly, by me of course. And at the end of the video, I want you guys to respond. This is I want your opinion. I want you guys to let me know what you think is either wrong, what is right, or what you think should be different. So I would really appreciate any kind of feedback you guys have for me. If you enjoy the video, please like, subscribe, comment. I want feedback. That is what I'm gaining, or I'm trying to gain from this video. I haven't seen anything like this on YouTube before, so it's a little bit unique, like I said earlier. And I'm really excited to show you guys it. So let's hop right into it. The very first Pokemon in OU that we are doing, I'm doing these all by alphabetically, in case you haven't noticed. Amoonguss is first, so we're going to do Amoonguss first, and let's start off with Amoonguss. So honestly, this Pokemon, it's a very good Pokemon in my opinion, but it lacks a couple things. The grass poison typing is very nice. It has HP stat of 114, which is insane. Its attack, I mean, you're not going to use its attack, but its special attack isn't very good at either. But I mean, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Hidden Power Fire, you're not really going to be running anything else on this Pokemon. Its defenses are decent with that HP stat, like I said, and it's very slow. But the thing is, this thing is pretty much a pivot. The pros to this Pokemon are Regenerator, it's a bulky pivot, it gets Spore, and it does one thing very well, and that's counter Keldeo. Let's talk about Regenerator real quick. Regenerator, if you switch out, you will gain like 25% of your HP back, so yeah, that's very good. It's such a good use for a pivot, like I said. It's a good grass type to wall other grass types such as Superior and Breloom in OU. It's a good counter to both of those as well. It gets things like Clear Smog, so you can't set up on it as long as it's a steel type, and so it's not immune to that Clear Smog. Yeah, and like I said, Spore is so good in OU. It's probably the second best Spore user. I would say Breloom is probably the best, but Spore is so good because it just puts things to sleep and it's 100% accurate. You're never gonna miss a Spore unless they're using Bright Powder for some reason. Then you see the Keldeo. It's such a good Keldeo counter. Keldeo is running rampant in OU. It's all over the place to counter things like Landorus and I guess pretty much any bulky ground type Keldeo can take care of, along with that Secret Sword, which is really nice. So yeah, you really got to watch out for the sub Calm Mind Keldeo though with Amoonguss. If that's the case, then this thing is not really a counter. You're just gonna have to keep spamming Giga Drain if you don't have any other answers to it. So yeah, this is a pretty cool Pokemon though. Now the cons for it, I would say it's very slow, it's one-dimensional, it has very weak offensive potential, and its moveset is extremely limited. This thing, like I said, really only has Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, or Clear Smog with Hidden Power Fire. This thing's coverage is not good at all. So that's why its final grade is a B-. It does one thing well, and that is it. It is very one-dimensional. I guess slow, it doesn't really ruin this Pokemon, it's just another thing on top of it. So yeah, that is what I think of Amoonguss. Honestly, like I said, just does one thing, and that's to be a bulky pivot. That's the main purpose of Amoonguss, and it does it well, but like I said, it's one-dimensional. So we'll hop into the next Pokemon, and the next Pokemon is Azumarill. And Azumarill is a much different Pokemon than Amoonguss. Azumarill has the Water Fairy typing, with the base 100% or 100 HP, base 50 attack, base 80 defense, base 60 special attack, base 80 special defense, and base 50 speed. So the attack is obviously boosted by huge power. Its best ability. Definitely don't want to use things like Sap. Well, I mean, if you're crazy, you could use Sap Sipper, I guess. But like I said, huge power is what it's used for, and that boosts its attack to base 100, pretty much just doubling it. And it has very good stab moves of Waterfall. It has Aqua Jet priority, along with the Play Rough. So Azumarill's pros, I would say the ability huge power, its stab priority and Aqua Jet, and its good offensive typing with its decent bulk. This thing can actually tank a couple hits just because of that base HP stat, and then its base 80 defenses. So if you throw a little bit of HP investment, it can still eat some, I would say some volts, like at least one volt switch from something, and then it can actually tank some like earthquakes or something you're using it for. It has decent bulk, like I said. But the main thing this thing is used for is usually Choice Band or Assault Vest or even Belly Drum. So it's pretty good, honestly. If you get a Belly Drum off, you can get a nice Aqua Jet sweep going if they don't have any resistances. So it's a pretty good mon, honestly. Now the cons for it. It is slow. It's a Volt Switch fodder, so pretty much this thing is so hard to get. Like with Volt Switch being really popular, Azumarill is definitely not wanting to tank those, so you're gonna have to play around that either with some resistances or some ground types. And then it is difficult to set up a Belly Drum at times, even with a Citrus Berry. Most attacks from powerful Pokemon are going to take this thing down to past 50%, and even past 75%. And if that's the case, say they do about 80% to you on a hit, then your Citrus Berry is only going to get you back up to around the 40s, and you won't have enough to Belly Drum, and you wasted a turn, and they can just knock you out because they're more than likely faster than you. So like I said, it's hard to set up a Belly Drum at times, but if you can do it, definitely do it. That's why its final grade is a B+. I gave Azumarill a B+ because it's a good mon, but there are some room for improvement. So yeah, that is my opinion of Azumarill, and we'll go into the next Pokemon. The next Pokemon is Bisharp, and Bisharp is one of my favorite Pokemon in OU, guys. This thing is so unique. It has a Dark and Steel typing, making it quad weak to fighting, but however it has a base HP stat of 65, an attack stat of 125, defense of 100, special attack 60, special defense 70, and speed 70. So this thing is pretty powerful with that base 125 attack, and a little bit bulky with the 100 defense. So as long as it's not getting hit with a super effective move, this thing can actually tank a little bit of hits, at least to an extent. Bisharps are usually ran Life Orb, Black Glasses, even Assault Vest, Pursuit Trapping. What else is there? That's about it, honestly. Those are the main things. I've never really seen a Choice Banded Bisharp or something along the lines of that, even Choice Scarf. I've never seen that. So the pros for a Bisharp are its Defiant ability. Defiant raises your attack by 2 for every stat that is dropped. So say somebody wants to set up a Defog, and you can throw Bisharp out there, and he will Defog, lower your evasiveness, and raise your attack by 2. So that is very good, especially with Latios and Latias running rampant in OU. This thing is really cool, guys. Even say somebody wants to use Icy Wind on you, you can switch into this, and you will raise your attack by 2. So Defiant is such a good ability. Really got to take advantage of it, and this thing can be a really big threat. Like I said, with Latios and Latias everywhere in OU, this thing is a very good check for them because it has access to Sucker Punch, Pursuit, and Knockoff. So one of those 3 moves you will always have on a Bisharp. You should always have at least 2 of those moves, in my opinion. Yeah, along with the Iron Head. So it has stab priority with Sucker Punch, and it has access to Swords Dance, which makes it an incredible setup sweeper, especially to things that don't have any resistances to these 2 typings. So, and it's hard to find a good resist for both of those. It's just so good, honestly, guys. I really like Bisharp. Now its cons, I would say it is 4 times weak to fighting. It is EQ vulnerable, especially because a lot of Pokemon that have EQ are faster than this thing. And it struggles versus bulky resisted Megas. So, like I said, Mega Lopunny, it's faster than it, and it can't knock it off. So it's going to be resisted. It struggles with something like, I wouldn't say Mega Manectric because it has the Intimidate ability, and you'll get your Defiant boost. Plus, you have Sucker Punch. but like the main Mega. So say you switch in your Bisharp 2 and Mega Manectric, and you will lose to that one-on-one most likely. I would say pretty much any bulky Mega, this thing doesn't honestly want to take on one-on-one because your knockoffs aren't going to be doing very well, and your Iron Heads are still going to be doing a nice chunk, but I prefer the Black Glasses set, so that's just my opinion of it. Yeah, Bisharp though overall is a very good Pokemon. This thing can tear through teams. I've done it numerous times. One of my favorite OU Pokemon, like I said before, and that's why it deserves an A-. So we see our first A of the Pokemon report cards, and we'll hop into the next one. So the next Pokemon we have is Breloom, and Breloom is packing that grass and fighting typing, along with the base 60 HP, 130 attack, 80 defense, 60 special attack, 60 special defense, and 70 speed. So Breloom's pretty much ran, and let's see, there is a Poison Heals type set, so you can run Toxic Orb on it and it will heal plus 12, kind of like Gliscor. There is also the Technician Life Orb set, there's the Focus Sash set, and pretty much that's it. I have seen a couple Choice Scarf Brelooms, but very, very rare. And I would say the pros for Breloom are its Technician ability that boosts its Bullet Seed, that boosts its Mach Punch, Force Palm, Rock Slide, and that's about it. Those are the main moves that it uses. It has that stab priority like I just mentioned in Mach Punch that is extremely powerful actually with this base 130 attack. It is the best Spore user in the game in my opinion, along with the opportunity to be a setup sweeper. So this thing has access to Swords Dance. It even has Bulk Up, but most people run Swords Dance. Yeah, this thing is crazy good, honestly. I mean, somehow I always find myself weak to beat Breloom, so if somebody's using Breloom, I always find myself having trouble with this Pokemon just because of its uniqueness. You never really see a good Technician attacker other than this and Scizor and OU. I can't really think of another one off the top of my head, but yeah, this thing's pretty good and really threatening because of these Spore opportunities it gets. Because if it sets up a Spore on you and you want to stay in, it can set up a Swords Dance, and with that Life Orb, you're not going to be wanting to take these hits. It doesn't even matter what Pokemon you are. If this thing sets up a Swords Dance or two, yeah, you better watch out. So Breloom's very, very offensive. I really like it. Now the cons to it, I would say it's frail. It is 4 times weak to flying, and it is walled by most flying types. That I'm saying, like, if you don't have Rock Slide, I mean not Rock Slide, what is it called? Rock Tomb, that's it. And it has very average speed. So most flying types are also faster than it, so it can pretty much just get knocked out by that. This thing's not going to be wanting to take any types of attacks necessarily because of that only base 60 HP and only has base 60 special defense. And 80 defense is above average, but definitely not something you're really proud of for a defense stat. So yeah, this is Breloom. I thought it deserved a B just because of its very frail, even though it has incredible offensive potential. This thing is just not wanting to take hits. Definitely an OU Mon, but not the best one. So we'll hop into the next one, and we have Chancy. And for you avid OU players, you all know what Chancy does. I don't really have to explain it that much. It is packing the normal typing, so that means it is only weak to fighting, and yeah, it only needs to be weak to fighting, or else it would be not as good. So Chancy is probably the most annoying Pokemon to play in OU these days because of the item Eviolite. So Chancy is ran in a couple different ways. Like, there is a Stealth Rock set, there is a Thunder Wave set. It is always a healer though, that is the main thing, and is most certainly used on Stall the most. So Chancy is packing at 250 base HP, that's insane. 5 attack, 5 defense, very weak. 35 special attack, 105 special defense, and 50 speed. So other than Blissey, Chancy is the most specially defensive Pokemon in the game. It is insanely bulky. I hate playing this thing so much. I'm not a fan of Stall, you guys know me. Then we see pretty much, I don't know, Chancy is Chancy. It's such a big wall. The pros for it is, like I said, the absolutely insane bulk. This thing is, like I said, the second best special wall in the game, so this thing's going to, even a Focus Blast is not going to do pretty much anything to this thing. It is a cleric, probably one of the best clerics in the game. It gets access to Stealth Rock, and it has very good utility with status changes because it gets T-Wave and Toxic. So Chancy, like I said, mainly used on stall, but I've seen this thing used on hyper offensive teams just to be able to tank some hits and to be a cleric. So like I just hate playing this thing, honestly. I would say the cons to Chancy are it is vulnerable to knockoffs, because if you knock off this thing's item, it becomes much easier to deal with. Then it is also taunt vulnerable, because if you have taunt, it can't use any of its status moves or its utility moves. It can only pretty much hit you with Seismic Toss if they have it. Some Chancies don't even run Seismic Toss, but every Chansey should. Then it is also setup fodder without the T-Waves. You can get up some Swords Dances or something, because all it's going to do is be able to Toxic you. And it is also decently slow. So that is pretty much Chancy, guys, in a nutshell. There's not much else to it. I gave it a final grade of a B+, because I think it deserved that. It only does one thing, but what it does is very good. So that is why it's all the way up to a B+. So that is Chancy. We'll hop into the next Pokemon, and the next Pokemon is Mega-Charizard-X. Now, Mega-Charizard-X is very, I wouldn't say underrated, but I would say underused in OU. It is packing the Fire and Dragon typing, along with the 78 HP, 130 attack, 111 defense, 130 special attack, 85 special defense, and 100 speed. So the main reason I think Mega-Charizard-X isn't used in OU as much as it should be is because of its weak Stealth Rock typing before Mega Evolution. Fire typing and Flying typing, that's going to be taking 50%. So Mega-Charizard-X is usually ran in, there's about 2 sets, I think. There's probably just 2 sets. Obviously the Dragon Dance sweeping set with Flare Blitz, Dragon Claw, or I think it gets Outrage, and an Earthquake, or the little bit of a bulkier set, and you could run, I think it's either Dragon Dance or Flare Blitz, Roost, and Will-O-Wisp. So it's either Flare Blitz or Dragon Claw. You kind of switch off. So yeah, those are the sets. I prefer the Dragon Dance sweeping set just because it is so threatening with that Tough Claws boosted attacks. This thing is, for the pros, I would say it is one of the best setup sweepers in the game, for sure. It is a massive threat. It cannot be burned to reduce its physical attack, and it is just, like I said, insanely powerful. 130 base special attack along with Tough Claws boosted attacks. And most of its powerful attacks are stab. This thing's hard to deal with, guys. There's not much that needs to be said about it. The cons, like I said, Stealth Rocks earlier, it has to set up a Dragon Dance to sweep. Most teams in OU have a Pokemon that is faster than 100 base speed, so you have to find the opportunity to set up a Dragon Dance to make it really threatening. And if you have this thing T-Wave, it's almost useless. You can just come in and revenge kill it, or you can come in and kill it right away. So if this thing gets paralyzed, it's so much easier to deal with because, like I said, you cannot burn it, so you might as well just T-Wave it. But it is still a massive threat. It has the opportunity to sweep so often, and that is why its final grade is a solid A. Mega-Charizard-X is phenomenal in OU. I would recommend it completely, and we'll hop onto the next Charizard. So obviously the next Charizard is Mega-Charizard-Y. Mega-Charizard-Y obviously has the same typing as normal Charizard, so the Stealth Rock is a thing again. And Mega-Charizard-Y is totally different from Mega-Charizard-X. It has the Drought ability, which makes it bring Sun every single time on switch-in or on Mega Evolution. So that's up for, I think, 5 turns. I want to say 5 turns. Then its base HP is 78, its attack is 104, defense 78, special attack 159, special defense 115, and speed 100. Mega-Charizard-Y is so unique. I really like it. It's one of the only sun-setting Pokemon that are available to use in OU. I think Ninetales is the only other one. but nobody sees Ninetales in OU. Then its pros, I would say it's very powerful. A Sun boosted Fire Blast is insanely powerful. The Sun is another pro. It's very good wall breaker, and it has good coverage. Good coverage as in Solar Beam. It gets Solar Beam, so you will be able to hit water types that want to switch in, and you will also be taking half the amount of damage a normal water type move would be doing, as long as the Sun is still up. So that's pretty cool. And then it also gets things like Focus Blast to hit Tyranitar that want to come in on switching thinking it's safe. And it also gets Stab, Air Slash, so that's kind of cool. I don't necessarily run that, but it has decent coverage. Like I said, even Earthquake as well. So if in case you wanted to run a Earthquake on it to hit Heat Trends. Yeah, so that's about it. Then we see the cons. Stealth Rocks, it's 4 times weak to rock as well. That's kind of an issue. And then also an issue is the speed. Like I said earlier with Mega-Charizard-X, you don't see Dragon Dance on Mega-Y, so it's kind of hard to set up a set up and sweep with this thing. You can't really do that, just because most OU teams definitely have over 100 speed Pokemon on their team, such as like Latios has a good check. So Mega-Charizard-Y, I think it deserved a B+. Very powerful, good wall breaking abilities, but it has some issues on it. So deserved a B+, definitely not an A Pokemon. So we'll hop into the next one, and we see probably one of the best Pokemon in OU, and that is Clefable. Clefable is packing the Mono Fairy typing with the 95 HP, the 70 attack, 73 defense, 95 special attack, 90 special defense, and 60 speed. Clefable has 2 sets that it runs, well, 2 typical sets that it runs, and that's Calm Mind Magic Guard and the OU Unaware Wall with the I think it's, yeah, Wish. You have to run Wish with that. So, Unaware, if you guys didn't know, it pretty much makes your stat changes useless. This thing just totally ignores them. So if you set up a ton of Calm Minds or something and you try to hurt this thing, it's going to be doing just as normal as you would be without all those Calm Mind boosts. So, and then the Magic Guard ability is if you Toxic it, it won't be taking damage. It won't be taking damage on Stealth Rocks. The only damage it'll be taking is if you physically hurt this Pokemon with an attack. So Clefable is so good just because of those 2 abilities, honestly. It is so versatile. I just don't even know. Sometimes you can't beat a Clefable. If you don't have a good Steel type or a good Poison type, at least some coverage for those options, or a really powerful wall breaker, this thing's very tough to kill in OU. It, like I said, for the pros, it's versatile, as in it has those 2 abilities, so you can't really decide exactly what it is right off the bat. It also has things like a Calm Mind Life Orb set, or not Calm Mind Life Orb, maybe it does have Calm Mind, but it's the Life Orb Magic Guard set, and with a max attack investment, a special attack investment, it has good coverage too. It has things like Fire Blast to hit the Steel types. It has things like Ice Beam. It has things like Thunderbolt. So you honestly don't know what this thing is going to be packing every single time. So you really got to be careful with that. I've even seen some people run Calm Mind Stored Power. So you just never know with this Pokemon. I would say its only cons are it has its base stats are all pretty average, or it would be totally broken if they weren't average. It is relatively slow, and it's beaten by powerful wall breakers, like I said earlier. But those cons definitely do not outweigh the pros. This thing is insanely good, and that is why it is the very first Pokemon we see an A+ rating. This thing is not perfect, definitely not perfect, but it deserves an A+ rating because this thing is very good. We'll hop into the next one. And we see Mega-Diancie, and Mega-Diancie is packing the Fairy Rock typing. Very unique, no other Pokemon has that. It has a 50 base HP, 160 attack, 110 defense, 160 special attack, 110 special defense, and 110 speed. Mega-Diancie pretty much carrying one set. Then the 4th move just kind of varies on each one. I guess the 3rd move does as well. But you're always running Diamond Storm and Moonblast as the 2 stab moves with those base 160 attack and special attack, so it's still going to hit hard. And then your 3rd move is either usually Hidden Power Fire or Earth Power. It kind of just depends if you want to hit Scizors and Ferrothorns, or you want to hit Heatrans harder and other steel types. So yeah, and then your fourth move is usually Protect. People usually run Protect to get a free Mega Evolution off because it is very slow before Mega Evolution. And you always want to get that free one off. Also, you gain that ability Magic Bounce, which is very nice. I love the Magic Bounce ability. It's so good in OU. And I guess there you could run Stealth Rock as well. I've seen Rock Polish, even Calm Mind to an extent. But the main fourth move is Protect. If not, you kind of see Stealth Rock every once in a while. So the pros to this Pokemon are it is a very powerful mixed attacker. Diamond Storm and Moonblast is incredible. Magic Bounce on top of that is a very good ability, and it has good speed. This thing can outspeed base 100s, obviously, if it is full investment, which it always should be. And not a lot of things can handle this thing. Almost a full invested Moonblast is a 2-hit KO on a lot of bulky Pokemon. It just can't really handle, most things just can't really handle this thing. Its coverage is very nice. It can take on Talonflame. This thing's just very viable to use in OU. I would say the cons are it is 4 times weak to Steel, so definitely don't want to stay on something like a Bullet Punch. Then it has a low HP stat. It's kind of balanced by its base defenses, which are pretty high, but like I said, the low HP stat kind of makes it less bulky for sure. And then it also has multiple weaknesses due to that rock typing. So you're going to be getting hurt very bad by grass, water, ground, and obviously steel. So it's just kind of hard to play around sometimes with Mega-Diancie. But if you can play around it, then it's pretty easy to play around. So the last Pokemon that is why I gave it an A. I think it did deserve an A because of the Magic Bounce ability. It's just so hard to deal with, guys. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Moonblast is a base 90 power move, and I'm pretty sure Diamond Storm is over 100. So, and Diamond Storm also has the chance to boost your defense by 50%, which is nice. So yeah, Diancie is definitely deserving of an A. This thing is probably the second best Mega in OU. I will tell you guys the best Mega later. Then we see the last Pokemon for the video is Dragonite. So Dragonite is packing the Dragon Flying typing. It has 91 HP, 134 attack, 95 defense, 100 special attack, 100 special defense, and 80 speed. Pretty much Dragonite's only used as a setup sweeper with Dragon Dance. I have seen it ran as a mixed attacker as well. It has things like, I don't know about Hydro Pump, but it definitely has Fire Blast. I've seen probably Thunderbolt on this thing as well. Then we see, I'm pretty sure it can be used as a, I think it gets Defog as well, as a like bulky defogger with Roost. If you really want to run that, definitely not the usual set though. I would say the pros to this Pokemon is that it is an excellent sweeper. It is so good at sweeping because it has Dragon Dance and it has Extreme Speed. Extreme Speed is a +2 priority move that it has 80 base power. It isn't stab, but it's so nice to use just to hit things really hard. Say you, something wants to switch in, you hurt it down really bad and finish it off with an Extreme Speed because they won't be able to outspeed you. Then it is also very powerful, 130 attack with the opportunity to Dragon Dance to boost that attack. It's very powerful, guys. It's hard to play around a Dragonite. It also has the multi-scale ability, which means if it is at full HP, any attack to it will only do half the amount of damage that it normally can, so that means you are usually eating at least 1 HP ice. And some people love to run weakness policies, so if they can take a Stone Edge or take a any weakness attack and raise its attack even more after a Dragon Dance, then it can sweep you guys. It's very easily you can very easily get swept by a Dragonite. Really gotta watch out for it. I would say the cons are it's 4 times weak to Ice. It's weak to Stealth Rock because it will break its multi-scale, making it less useful. And it struggles versus Fairies. I know it does. At least I think it gets Iron Tail. But nobody usually runs Iron Tail for coverage. It's usually Earthquake. I would recommend Earthquake too. That is why it's deserving of the final grade of a B+. So Dragonite, good at what it does, very good setup sweeper, and yeah, I think it's deserving of a B+. So those are the 10 Pokemon we are doing for episode 1. Stay tuned for episode 2. Episode 2 will consist of, I think, yeah, it's Excadrill all the way down to, I want to say, Jirachi. I think it's Excadrill to Jirachi. So we see a nice set of Pokemon right there. We had the lowest grade was a B-. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. Like I said, it took me a while to build, and like I said, stay tuned for the next video. And please let me know what you guys think. I really want to hear back from you guys. It would just help the video out tremendously and speed up the process of making the others as well. So let me know what you think. And that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Thanks for watching.